I hope my UPS there is protecting everything from blowing up. Let's look at the edges, and then we're going to wrap it up. My wife laughing in there at me. Promise, promise. And put on some of the lighter returns. So for the golden triangle out here, we're going to look at a couple of cameras. We should have our assessment. I am hoping to see a bigger number here in Macon, because in theory this should be going up, and it did. 39 in Macon. That's good for you. Tisch County, you're baked in. We're going to keep icing all night long. Macon, this is rain all night long. Congratulations on winning the North Mississippi Lottery of the Ice Storm of 2026 in Macon and Noxubee County. Columbus, check you out. You also have won a tight battle here, but you've largely won with primarily just rainfall there in Lowndes County. Congratulations there in Columbus. Let's check Caledonia. And again, foggy out there, wet roadways. Looking out here in Caledonia, and I'm looking specifically at what's behind me there. Make sure that's even updating. That is. That looks pretty good, all things considered. At 36 degrees, there's a good chance that unless we have some thunder sleet overnight, very much a possibility, that you're somewhat okay tomorrow morning. Let's go up to Aberdeen. Aberdeen sitting at 34. Right on the edge. In the fog. You have a little bit of ice, I think, starting to form on the camera lens there. Aberdeen, I do think you still have icing potential overnight. You're more likely, again, more susceptible if you get one of those freezing thunderstorm sort of situations. Amory, 34, but that's a little trickier for you. You're still more rainfall than anything else at this point, Amory, but I say that we've had power outages. Hold on. Let me go back to that power outage map for a quick second. And really, you guys, Monroe County has done very well. Props. That's Mississippi Live Weather Radar. Okay, let's check out the next one. We go up to Smithville. There's pretty much everything else kind of tells the story. We'll look back at Northwest Mississippi after this. Again, Smithville, waiting for that update. Still updating. Still largely good there. Congratulations, Smithville. Doing okay. I am going to see if I can control that camera, and I'm going to zoom in on some power lines, make sure that there's not something there that's kind of catching us. Let's see here. That would be Smithville. I'm going to do it. I'm looking for, there we go. Look at the power lines right there. Oh, overshot it. Hold on. There we go. Good and lined up. Check out these power lines here. We should have good light to be able to take a look at it. You can see that rate of falling as we go way in there. It's going to work on kind of try to get it. I don't see a whole lot hanging off of those. So far, Smithville, you are in the winners column. Hey, now I want to be clear here. Like, I'm not God. And so Tracy there, whoever's saying it's icing by the Lee Mall, it's entirely possible. I want to be clear that these reporting stations are not exactly where these cameras are. So it remains possible that person is correct, and maybe it is in fact not. It is in fact icing there. Listen, I'm going to trust. I would rather trust someone that says that it's icing as opposed to someone that says it's nice when it's not, right? Because if you say it's icing, people stay at home, which is the recommendation. And again, this is not me trying to scold anybody. This is just me kind of explaining my theory on this. I would rather people stay home when they could have traveled than travel when they should have stayed home. And I would say most of us are in that last category where you're more likely to travel when you should have stayed home. So let's stay home. Watching something on a portable DVD player. Now that is one way. Before we go, I gotta look up Northwest. But the other thing I'll say is that the cool thing about 2026 America is if you have fiber, it's possible you still have internet even if you don't have power. If you can somehow get power to your router and your modem, you'll still have internet. Because a lot of those fiber lines are backed up at different places with battery backups. So it is still reasonable that you could have internet and not have power, even in, like in my case, when the Electric Power Cooperative is your internet provider. As we look up here close to Memphis, and then this is where we're going to wrap things up toward Hernando, South Haven. Meteorologist Maggie McCauley kind of living up here, and I'm hoping she still is in good shape power-wise. We don't have a lot of power disruptions up there in Senatobia. Kind of a little bit of a dry fetch moving in. It's interesting this is coating in snow. We have not had a ton of reports of snow, but it's possible that could be producing some up there. And about the only place, by the way, we have actually had, some snow on this over the last, 6-8 hours is back up in here. Using our snow capabilities here on our system, I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning, look at the 48-hour snowfall. Man, Little Rock's got that much? Well, I've been so busy, I haven't even gone back and looked. That's a lot of snow, but I do think there's some ice that figures in with that. So I also think that, this is probably including some sleet. I think a lot of what we have up here near the Tennessee state line is probably sleet more than snow. But you can see just in the last few hours, that's kind of expanded in because of that. So the overall kind of snowfall, a couple different ways of looking at that. Interested. 3 hour, 12-hour snowfall. Oh, that's the single site snowfall. Gotcha. Let's look at the mix. Clearly, we've all seen that, unfortunately. Let's see if this shows ice totals. Now this is interesting here. This might be worth us checking out. Give me a moment to change this to the site out of GWX, and we'll look back there. See kind of what this says. Icefall totals have been to this point. I don't know. You tell me. Does this seem reasonable based on where you're at? Somewhere around an inch to 3/4 of an inch of ice. I don't think that's unreasonable, especially based on kind of where we have. I'm going to leave this on the last moment there. Widen that so it has a few less roads on it. I don't think this is unreasonable on icefall amounts. I think it's a little high around Columbus, and maybe a little low in some spots. What do you think? Tell me in the comments next to me there. Is this accurate? Just kind of a yes or no where you're at. Yes, in the city you're in, if you can. Let me know. Do you think these numbers are accurate? Kind of helps me calibrate so I know next time kind of what this is about. Because part of the reason I think it might be trees falling in New Albany seems pretty reasonable there, a response. So, let me know if you think it's reasonable based upon where you're at there. About a half-inch buildup of ice on the truck. To let us know the location, that helps. But part of the reason I think that's reasonable is our heaviest power outages are some of the spots we're looking at here as well. It's going to kind of double up on some things there. It's not 8,000 3 times. It's just I clicked 3 times in there. But you have those most substantial power outages there in Union County, parts of Union County there, and Lafayette County, stretching up there toward Tippah County and Prentiss County. That is kind of the same sort of swath where we had the same sort of ice there. So I do think that's probably fairly accurate. I'm looking here. Oxford, Mississippi is your location. Appreciate that. Half-inch in the Carolina community. That seems reasonable. Road is icing over off of 45 by the Lee Mall. Hey, I believe it, Jade. I think that's possible there because, again, we try to use the best information we can to make the best guess we can. But as I'm looking back toward Northwest Mississippi, perhaps these are accurate for you as well. So let's see. I do think some of this ice up here could include some sleet as well because this is kind of our ice mix product. Let's look at 24-hour snowfall. It does show as much as maybe 2 to 3 inches up here toward the Tennessee state line, northern Tippah County. Hear my voice going up? Nah, no, nope, nope, nope. We're also looking too far away from the radar site there. Let's change it to the Memphis radar. Yeah, I. That's not. I've seen nothing that says anywhere near that up near the Tennessee state line. So the ice accumulations have been good. For other spots, not as much. Looks like on that, and as you would imagine, icy snow cover the way you described most of this, and ultimately it's icy. Pretty much all spots out there. Okay, Mississippi Live Weather Radar, and then to finally answer that question, because someone was asking about Hernando up here. We have some, but we have more on the way. And what you have is again that kind of mix. I would imagine that's probably kind of a sleet mix, maybe some freezing rain in there. It's pretty heavy band that just came through there. I think that's why our estimations are showing the snow that they're showing. But unfortunately, there is more on the way, and it will continue, and it will be heavy. And if you still have power, great. If you still have power at 6:30 tomorrow morning, you can watch us. We're going to be on starting at 6:30 a.m. With our latest updates here in the Room to Room Weather Center. We'll be giving you, updates related to, again, everything, including the potential for icefall accumulations that do continue. We'll be reviewing what's going on related to all of the power outages and walking you through this situation, which obviously is not pleasant. And again, you guys have submitted a bunch of photos. I will look at the photos real quick because I did promise that, and then we're done. Or else, one thing we need in order to continue doing everything in Mississippi Live Weather, we'll be on at 6:30 tomorrow morning. We need Mrs. Lawpon to stay married to me. And I've said like 6 times I'm wrapping up, but you're going to get real mad in a minute. So, as we've said multiple times here again, wishing her a happy birthday. Some lines really drooping there on that picture coming in. That shot there was from, let's get the location. Where are we at? Right here. That was Saltillo. That's the reason we're starting to see, again, some more of those power outages. Again, trees drooping. The ones that have leaves on it like that have an issue. That picture coming from Okolona, branches breaking. Shot here, this from Broken Limbs, Gabriella there. Let's check the location that Gabriella sent that in from. Well, it's not wanting me to send through the map. Yeah, Broken Limbs hitting the ground. Praise Jesus, no one below that one when that hit the ground. Does not look like that's going to show me that one on the map. Let's see what else we kind of have going down here. That's me. A lot of tree limbs down. This looks like a fairly substantial one. This is in the Cairo community. That's a tree that fell on this house. Whew. That's not what we want to see. But we know, again, and that might have been a healthy tree. That happens. That's the difference between this and storms from time to time, is that you're more likely to have healthy trees that are significantly damaged in an ice storm situation. That's a lot of ice. This one coming in here, Paul Henry. Let's check where he is at. He is in New Albany. I might have to go back here. There we go. Let's see if we find that. And yeah, that's a pretty solid glaze, and unfortunately, just as much rainfall. A bunch of rainfall kind of coming down at the same time there. That one during the 11 o'clock hour. Trees drooping, falling. That one looks like it actually made it on the car. I appreciate Chloe from sending that in from the Black Wine community, Prentice County. And the not pleasant stuff, unfortunately. There's one down the bottom here we'll look at. This is ice weighing it down. Brianna sending us this picture here. This is the last one I think we'll wrap up with on this. Brianna, she is located in Bruce. Looks like she sent in a bunch of different photos here of different things. But this is the one that kind of caught my eye. Definitely weighed down by the ice. Has a big impact there. So, as we kind of wrap things up, the ice will continue. If you're asking what about my location, the answer is yes. I would plan on additional ice. Now, we are hopeful for some folks around the Golden Triangle that maybe we've warmed up enough to slow it down for a little while. Our projections did have warmer air working northward, but that also means that this thunder, whatever this is, could be thunderstorms, could be thunder sleet, could be thunder something else, will also work its way northward as well, and higher totals could come, but it also might force the temperature up a little bit. But then it could also have wind gusts with it to cause their own issues. It's an unfortunate thing. There's really no easy way out of this. But I'm going to leave you with power outages. We have clearly more on the way, to the tune of more than an inch of additional ice. But power outages continue to stack up, and this is an ice storm that stretches across the region, and these numbers are probably going to go up overnight. In some cases, we have more than 50% of some counties without power, and that number will go up because this is a lot of individual outages. So tomorrow morning, starting at 6:30 a.m., Gabe's out of power. Caleb should be good in the Golden Triangle, so it'll at least be me and Caleb. But Maggie should hopefully be there. There aren't a lot of power outages in Tate County. She's gotten more sleep, meaning she's kind of missed the worst of it. But she'll be with us 6:30, 7:30 a.m. We thank you guys so much for subscribing, for liking us here on Mississippi Live Weather. If you're on Facebook or if you're watching on YouTube or one of these other places, you can like and subscribe, but please download the app. It certainly makes a difference on helping us be able to do this, support our sponsors, and just be safe, be kind to one another, be understanding, and pray for those people out there trying to hook the power back up tonight. They've got a really difficult job. To some, it's a thankless job, but just be nice to them. Be careful, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m.
As we move into storm season, here's something most homeowners don't realize after a storm. Roof damage isn't always obvious. Wind can lift shingles, breaking the seal. Hail can bruise them below, and flashing around chimneys and pipes can loosen without you ever knowing. That damage may not show up for months. If your area has strong wind or hail, a professional inspection will help bring you clarity before small damage turns into bigger problems.